How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, kiddo. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to interview with me regarding unGeeked. I know you just kind of like just hopped off the plane. I saw your tweet that you were taking a nice little beauty nap. So thank you for taking some time out for us. I really appreciate that.
Not a problem.
Liz, reason why I wanted to see if you would interview with unGeeked today, because I want you to tell the audience from your perspective, one, what did you get out of the first unGeeked? Why did you come when you heard about it, not knowing what unGeeked was? And two, what was that 3-day experience like for you?
Sure. Well, I remember signing up what I consider to be pretty last minute, probably about a month in advance, but I'm used to signing up for conferences 6-7 months in advance. And my role at the university, I used to work at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. My role had changed within the last 9 months at that time, and I was now in charge of our social media for our department, as well as the rest of our marketing and communications. And as I was looking at who was speaking and who was tweeting about the event, it seemed that everybody really had their stuff together that was going to be there. So I wanted to be a part of that group, and I wanted to learn more about it. And the fact that it was right down the street from me only made it that much easier to attend. But I went essentially just to kind of get my feet wet in social media because I had been using it, but I hadn't been exposed to any of the thought leaders in the area at that point. And what I got from it, gosh, what I specifically remember about unGeeked was walking away with 1 or 2 things that I wanted to implement immediately. And I was lucky enough to attend with a colleague who could come back to campus and start implementing those things with me, so I wasn't on a crusade on my own. So the conference was in May, and by July and August, some of my ideas were up and running, and they were getting attention at the campus level. And I was doing stuff that I loved in a way that felt easy to me, and it was working just because I had the time in the sessions to bounce ideas off the presenters and the attendees, and then again later in the evening at the get-togethers. So I had ideas cemented in my mind before I left the conference. That was one thing that made unGeeked stand out for me, is I knew what I was going to do with that information when I left. I didn't think I'd have to go back to my office and go through my notes and figure out what I got from it. I knew walking away what my takeaways were.
While you were there, did you what did you think about the side-by-side sessions? We did only one panel session. But my goal with unGeeked is to, and that was our first one, but our goal with unGeeked is to basically get the discussion leaders, because I don't want to call them speakers, because I mean they're pointing at you and talking to you, but get the discussion leaders to engage with you more. Allow you to ask questions and not for that 15-minute FAQ, or you're trying to catch them by the water cooler. So did that add to the takeaway for you?
It really did. I specifically remember at the Milwaukee event, Olivier Blanchard, the brand builder, was speaking towards the end, but he was there early tweeting with people back and forth. And I sent him a question I wanted him to address via Twitter before he got up and spoke. And that was one of the first things he spoke to when he started his talk. So the fact that someone who's nationally recognized in social media, knowing what he's talking about when it comes to ROI, took the time to really hash out an idea with me in front of everybody for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. That's what cemented it, and knew that it was something I could take back to my campus.
Now, you're actually going to come to unGeeked Chicago. So why are you returning to unGeeked?
I signed up to go to unGeeked Chicago the day after unGeeked Milwaukee closed. I knew it was something that was going to be beneficial to me professionally, and someone, somewhere, something was looking out for me, because now I'm in a new job with new challenges, and I'm really expecting unGeeked to do the same thing for me in my new situation as it did for me in my previous position. But now I'm looking at things from a whole different angle, and I just glanced at the speaker list, and it looks like there's very little overlap from last year. So the ones who were really great are coming back, and the ones who were not featured before, I'm really excited to learn from, and I completely trust the slate of unGeeked speakers that there'll be something that I need to hear.
Good, good. One more question before we let go of this interview. What did you think about the 20-on-1 breakout sessions?
I loved it. My 20-on-1 was with Scott Stratton from unMarketing. And I just went back through my notes before talking with you from that session, and they made me laugh just sitting here. I mean, people's personality comes through even more in the 20-on-1 sessions. We all went around and introduced ourselves.
And if I remember, Scott had beer.
Yes, there was various on one. I really appreciated that. We got to, again, meet everyone in the room. The attention wasn't not on the featured elite speaker, although it became a Q&A where then he was giving his thoughts on things. But he would shoot it back out to us.
But it was even more intimate.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were at a U-shaped table looking at everyone having a beer, hanging out. I think you had to kick us out of the room because we had to leave the venue because we were having such a good time.
Good. Well, Liz, I'm really glad that you enjoyed unGeeked and that when your takeaway was that you could get back to your desk and immediately implement it. That's really great. And I hope and want you to have that same experience with Chicago. We do have some great discussion leaders. And you had mentioned one point that I want to reiterate. With unGeeked discussion leaders, when I'm recruiting them, so to speak, I always tell them that we don't do drive-bys. And what I mean by that, you don't come in, speak for your 45 minutes, and then get the heck out. I want them to be there at least the day of, if not the day before. So someone like yourself can't put a question to them and they can address it because they have that intimacy level. But if you have drive-bys, people who come in, fly in just in time to speak and just in time to get out, then you're not going to get that. So the people we had in Milwaukee and the people we have in Chicago and moving forward, it's a little bit of a lot to ask from the discussion leaders, but I ask it. Because it's beneficial to attendees like you.
Yeah, well, and we appreciate it.
So I want to say thank you for taking the time. Looking forward to seeing you in May. And just enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh, I will. I'll go take another nap.
Well, it's beautiful weather, too.
Yeah, maybe take a walk as well.
All right, kiddo. Well, thank you.
Thanks.